Hi, Kelly here, coming at you from Social School Campus. Thank goodness for this place. I will tell you that right now. It's still my sanctuary. It always will be, particularly in the age of family closeness and social distancing. There is this wonderful place called Social School that I get to escape to and try and find my sanity again. Hopefully you've got yours as well. I want to talk about three things today. And as we're being extremely sensitive to the fact that we are still smack in the middle of this unbelievable era of COVID, and we're only a couple weeks into the isolation, and there's still a very, very real frontline health crisis on our hands. The more conversations I'm having with business owners and entrepreneurs and startups that are in our community and outside of it, that are taking a breath and taking this time to recognize that we're sort of on hold, of course. Businesses are closed and people have been laid off, and we don't know what the future holds by any means. Not next week, not next month, or even a year from now. We have no idea. But what's starting to happen, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't excited about it as well, is that people are feeling a glimmer of hope. And I don't mean about recovery, because we know that's going to happen, and it is our mission and our mandate to keep focused on what's on the other side of this, because the flowers will bloom and we will emerge. But what is it that perhaps you're asking yourself that maybe you're thinking of changing in your business or in the way you were serving or not serving your customers? I saw this come through in spades last week as we recognized the theme of the hundreds and hundreds of applications we had from coast to coast, Canadian small businesses, entrepreneurs that were applying for our Small Business Success Fund scholarship, where we announced $50,000 worth of certification scholarships to the businesses that were economically hit the hardest by COVID-19. And the applications were as heart-wrenching as you can possibly imagine. Businesses that were already perhaps standing on their last leg, or just dealing with the uncertainty of the economy and forever changing world that they were living in as a small business or a mom and pop shop or a retailer in particular. And then we threw this COVID smack into the middle of it, and people are starving and scared. So with it, however, we did see those little moments where people were saying, I need to do this. I should have done that. I wish I would have future-proofed, digitized, whatever. And not just with gift cards and e-commerce and a bigger subscriber base, but with a different type of offering. One that wasn't just what had always worked, but what their customers or their prospects needed now, and how they were going to shift into that going forward in this incredible time of frozen time. It's like what I dreamed of when I was a kid. That was my dream of a superpower. It wasn't to be invisible or to fly. I wanted to freeze time. I don't know why. I think it was so I could sneak into the Prime Minister's office, or really see what was going on behind the scenes, or just sleep in and maybe get more done. But either way, it's happened. We literally have this frozen month ahead of us, perhaps, or foreseeable future. But let's call it 4 weeks. 4 weeks to regroup and reinvent and reemerge a little bit differently. And let's do it, because what other choice do we have? And we're gonna start this by thinking about what is serving us well and our customers, and what is no longer. And again, I would be lying if I said that there were things in our business that have been too product focused and chasing the revenue versus really thinking about what people need now and 6 months from now. And if we know them well enough, we can figure that out. I woke up this morning and was desperately trying to avoid starting the day with a COVID story. And I found myself on a Vogue article about Reese Witherspoon, the actress, who I've come to really admire over the last several months, years, for some of the work she's been doing. She started her own powerhouse production company, female-founded, self-funded, just brilliant depth to the stories and TV shows and mini-series that she's producing, like Big Little Lies on HBO. And it was really amazing, because she talked about this phase where she was in a huge funk, and she was no longer finding work that was wanted, or that she was inspired by and that was working. It just wasn't working anymore. And it was her husband that said to her, if you're gonna bet on anyone, bet on yourself. And if you're going to fight for anything, fight for yourself right now. And also, you really like books. So why don't you start optioning some of these brilliant underestimated books that you know and love so well and start producing your own films? And she did. And it's just an amazing kind of example of where she knew that her customers, but her audience wasn't being served by these like surface level BS roles either that she was seeing and being offered. And by trying to serve them, first and foremost, she ended up serving her own need too, which was really, really neat. So I think we can do a better job of asking ourselves what our customers or what our people, our community need now. And no, we don't have a crystal ball, but we do know them well enough if we're doing our job to understand their pain points, their fears, and their desires in this weird, new, crazy, upside down time, at least right now. And it'll be different next month and 6 months from now. But we're gonna start by identifying who they are and what makes them tick and what they're dealing with at home or elsewhere right now, and where our products and services fit into that in the new rearranged economy that will be summer 2020 and beyond. And I think being open to seeing and receiving those new opportunities and how we can step into them is the big key there. There was a quote from Tim Ferriss last week in his 5 Bullet Friday, where he said, "This isn't happening to us, it's happening for us." And if you're ready to see it that way, and many of us aren't, particularly if you're in a health crisis yourself or on the front lines, absolutely. But for those of us who have the luxury of time right now to be able to reset and to think about what our people need going forward. And even if you're taking wild stabs, it's better than sitting back and thinking that you can just continue status quo. So I, of course, constantly just admire the heck out of our community that is already moving that way. And we want to support that as much as we can. This week, we've got a series of webinars and free support tools that are going to start by asking that audience-related question. So I hope you can join us for that. And I hope that you have some glimmers of hope and inspiration in your own business right now. Some good vibes. I hope that you're getting out of your sweatpants maybe and even wearing jeans to work like I forced myself to do, and I actually feel better. Find your lipstick and let's do this. Let's rethink things a little bit and find our positive steps forward. Can't wait to be doing, stepping, moving with you. Talk to you soon.